What's up, guys? Kamikaze Fox here, coming to you from Melbourne. This is the 5th round of the 2017 SRL League Formula One Championship on PS4. And it looks like we've got ourselves a packed house. 13 drivers today out for qualifying. You see the two McLarens heading out. And a talk of the town is this guy right here, Killian Brady, KB Killer Zone 22, who has been the class of the field all year. He's raced in 3 races so far this year. He's taken 3. He's gone 3 for 3, really. He won the first 2 rounds. He missed the 3rd round, and then he won last week at China. Let's see if he can do it again here. You see his teammate stepping aside, letting him go by on the outlap. Trying to get some heat into those tires. We are at Melbourne Park, Australia, racing on the public streets, and KB's wasting no time getting up to speed. So on the outlap we have Killian Brady, Dion Stahl in one of the factory Ferraris, Francis McGinn, he's in the other McLaren, he's on his outlap, Sander in the Williams, Sam in the Haas. The newcomer, Colin Higgins, is out on his outlap in the Toro Rosso. And Kamikaze is on his outlap. And it looks like we've already got a caution in Sector 3. But we're going to ride along here and watch Killian Brady take off on his first flying lap. Oh, and he goes wide there in turn 1. Going to lose a little bit of speed. Long run down to turn 3. He's out on the ultra softs. And it looks like he's aborted this lap. Looks like he's going to looks like Dion go by. Sandro is also out on his outlap in the other factory Ferrari. So we're going to take a look at now Alexito Benet, that is Benarachetti in the Red Bull. He is probably the only guy right now that is going to have any chance of maybe taking Killian Brady down a notch. Him and Brady raced head-to-head last week at China for a few laps. Benarachetti tried to hold on as long as he could, but was unable to hold him off. And it looks like Francis McGinn has retired from the session. Another caution in Sector 3. So Dion Stahl and Francis McGinn are both out of this qualifying session. And Acroft, I believe that is Ethan, has set the first time with 1:33.6. Fortunately, this broadcaster does not have his notes. He's slacking this week. Ooh, Sander goes to the top of the charts with a 1:24 in the Williams. So we keep an eye on Benarachetti here. Oh, and Kamikaze goes to the top of the chart with a 1:22.788. Ooh, going a little wide there, coming out of that corner. We'll see where Benarachetti comes across the line here in a minute. See what kind of time he sets. He's going to come across the line. $1:23.496. It's good enough for second for right now. We're going to take a look at Kamikaze. He's in the other factory Red Bull. So far, set the fastest time. Killian Brady is in the pits right now. Sander in the pits. And Kamikaze is going to go into the pits as well. Sandro out on the track in one of the factory Ferraris. He's actually won this race the past couple of years. Had a bad outing last race, got taken out in turn 1, spent most of the race trying to play catch up. Gets a little loose coming out of that corner over the curbs. And the factory Ferraris this year have been a tick behind the rest of the field, it seems like. Oh, going a little wide. Looks like he might have brushed the wall there. Sandro and Dion Stahl, the two factory Ferraris, had a lot of high hopes heading into the season, but so far haven't been able to put together a full race. Dion did manage to finish on the podium last race, his first podium of the season. Sandro, meanwhile, we're all wondering when he's going to finally show up. Ooh, and he slows down, goes a little wide in that corner, lost a lot of speed, and he's off into the pits. Sanders in the pits. The only one out on the track right now, looks like we have Crocodile. Forgive me for not knowing his actual name, but he goes wide there. He's going to lose a lot of time. He's going to stay out and try for another lap. So far has the 5th fastest time at a 1:24.346. See if he can put together a different lap this time. Good run through 1-2 complex. And the run down towards turn 3. 5 minutes to play in this qualifying session. Trying to hold it together. Got a pretty decent run going here in the Sauber Ferrari. Oh, and he's way off. That's definitely going to be a warning for cutting the track limits. Take a look back at Sam Brandt in the Haas Ferrari. He's on his out lap. He's got a best time of 1:24.8 flat right now. Good enough for 6th. He's out on the soft tire. Interesting tire choice for qualifying. See if his setup will work a little better to get him a little bit higher up the qualifying order. .330 left in the session. Ooh, runs wide coming out of that corner. Good thing it wasn't a flying lap. Oh, and has to drive around one of the, looks like a Sauber. Almost had an off there. Here we go. Flying lap for Sam. We'll see if he can put one together here. Run down towards the turn 1-2 complex. Cuts it a little tight there. Good exit coming out of 2. The run down towards turn 3 towards the sports center. Keeps it tight. Good line through 4, good exit. Good run through the complex at Clark. Great exit there. Running on the public streets here in Melbourne Park in Australia. Stays throttle up. Good exit coming out of that corner. Sam's putting together a pretty tight lap here. Can he better his time? He's been dropped to 7th. Oh, cuts a little bit on the grass there. Gonna need a good exit coming out of the final corner. Does he improve his time? It does not. And we'll take a look back at the newcomer, Colin Higgins, in the Sauber Ferrari. I'm sorry, the Toro Rosso Ferrari. Higgins joining us this week from former league. Got a caution in sector 3. Higgins good enough for 8th right now. A 126.071. And Killian Brady has retired from this session. He was good enough for 2nd. And oh, big off there by Higgins. And around goes Higgins and into the wall. That is going to end that run. He's got some wing damage. We'll check, looks like he's off on the grass trying to stay out of the way as some of the other drivers go by. So Higgins will have to abort his lap. And that is going to be the end of the session. Looks like for a lot of these drivers, Sander coming home 5th, Crocodile 6th, Sam, best time was 7th. Sandro puts up a good time, 122.9, there he is. Killian Brady dropped to 3rd, he's retired from the session. Benarichetti is qualified 4th at this point. Fasconi is 8th. Croft 9th. Higgins 10th after his off. VY Gaming is 11th. And Dion Stahl and Francis McGinn in the factory Ferrari and the factory McLaren Honda both retired from the session early. They'll be bringing up the rear of the field, 12th and 13th. Higgins looks like he's on another tear to try and put a run together here. Higgins a little more cautious through that complex this time. Doesn't look like he's going to improve his time at all. Looks like he's going to give it another go. And it looks like that's going to end the session here. Higgins is going to end up starting 10th. So here's your starting grid. Keterkayem, Sandro, Killian Brady will be 3rd, Benarichetti 4th, Sander 5th, the Crocodile in 6th, Sam bringing up the Haas in 7th, Fasconi 8th, Croft 9th, Higgins 10th, VY Gaming is 11th, and Dion Stahl in the factory Ferrari 12th, and Francis McGinn in the McLaren 13th. So welcome to round 5. So we prepare to get this race underway. And the lights are go for the installation lap. And Sam has been immediately disqualified from the session. Sander disqualified. Francis McQuinn disqualified. DY Gaming disqualified. Not sure what kind of effect that's going to have on the starting grid. We'll take a look at Katakaram starting on pole position. Take a look back now at Killian Brady, championship leader, starting third. Does anybody have anything for him? Well, it looks like the two Benarachetti tried giving him a go last week, but right now Sandro and Katakaram have something for him, as they're going to start on the front row. Here we go as they line up. See Killian Brady moving up. Grid's going to reset. Everybody's go. Lights out. Time to run what you brung. Katakaram and Sandro off to a good start. Looks like there's one of the factory Red Bulls. Oh, Katakaram's on the outside through turn one. And the other Red Bull, and there's a... Oh, it looks like Sandro's been caught up in another wreck and going into the first corner. And he's immediately gone from second to 12th. Bad news for Sandro. Back at the front, though, it's Katakaram out in front. He's got 0.8 of a second lead over Benarachetti. Also, it looks like possibly involved in that wreck was Killian Brady in the factory McLaren. He's down to 11th. He started third. He's going to have some catch-up to do. He looks like he might have some possible wing damage. Oh, and we've got an off in one of the Saubers. And Dion's gone around now. A lot of action taking place here on the first lap. So the two factory Ferraris, who started well, are now falling back. And we've got another driver falling back, Sander in the Williams. Trying to keep up with everything that's going on. Colin Higgins is off. Him and Crocodile are now down at the bottom. Higgins looks like he's had a big off here in Sector 3. Oh yeah. Crocodile in the factory Sauber, he is done for the day. Oh, and Higgins, oh my goodness, Higgins is on his side, and he is going to be done for the day as well. Killian Brady's in for his tire change and a wing change. Looks like Sander may have been in behind him. Got 3 cars on pit road now. Looks like Brady, Sandro, and Sander, and they're going to be running out. And that's going to be 8th, 9th, and 10th. That's going to be a battle for the back of the pack. Higgins and Crocodile are now out of this race after their massive collision. Katakaram is out in front. He's got a 0.6 of a second lead over Alexander Benarachetti. Francis McGinn running third in the factory McLaren. He's slow through that last set of corners. So it looks like the real fight now is going to be between Benarichetti and his teammate, Kamikaze, and Benarichetti just set the fastest lap. Down into turn 3. We're on lap 3 of 29. It's been quite the race so far. Lots of mishaps on the opening lap. Sandro Dulis, who started second on the front row, got dropped back to the back of the pack after making contact heading into turn 1. Killian Brady started third, and he was dropped back to the rear of the field. Dion Stahl had a spin in the factory Ferrari. And the big one was Colin Higgins and the Crocodile. Looks like they got together. Both had massive suspension damage. Higgins ended up on his side. They're both done for the day. And Benarichetti, who had the gap down to half a second now, has lost some time to Kamikaze, who's pulled way out now with a 2-second lead. Benarichetti closes that gap a little bit, but not by much heading into that first sector. 2 down to a 1.8. Go back a little deeper in the field, you're going to find Francis McGinn running a solid third right now, picking up the slack from the lap 1 incidences. VY Gaming, I believe that's Yannick, I think his name is. He's running in the factory Haas, and we've got a caution in sector 2. Fastest lap, Killian Brady. Running 8th, but runs the fastest lap. See if he can work his way back up. But a good run here for VY Gaming in the Haas, running 4th. Behind him is going to be Fasconi in the Williams. And it looks like we might have a problem with Benarichetti. And he's had a big off. He was running second. Looks like he may or may not have some suspension damage, at least some wing damage. He'll probably have to head into the pits. Oh yeah, he's got some suspension damage, and around he goes. He's had a big off into the wall. Here comes one of the factory Ferraris. That's Sandro going around him, so that's going to help Sandro pick up a spot. This track has not been a good place for Benarichetti. Obviously having a rough outing here. This year he crashed out last year. See if he can gain his composure and fight his way back into contention later in this race through maybe some possible pit strategy. And he is into the pits. Getting the front wing off. New tires going on. Not a bad stop, but that's going to cost him. And Dion Stahl is going to pick up a spot as Benarichetti exits the pits. So if we take a look back out front now, it's Kamikaze, who has a very comfortable lead over Francis McGinn, even though he slides a little wide there heading out of the last corner. McGinn is now moved into second place. He's 5.7 seconds behind. If you go 9 seconds behind him, you pick up the Haas of VY Gaming, a great outing for him. Fasconi is about 2 seconds behind VY. He's got sights on him. Back from him, you've got Sam in the other Haas Ferrari, having a good outing today. And looks like we just missed Mr. Croft in the Toro Rosso, leaving the pits. Sandro's now moved up into 7th place, and his factory Ferrari started on the front row. Had a mishap going into turn 1, lots of contact. A little bit of a slide there. See Croft back coming out of the pits. Sander in the other Williams. And if you go much farther back from that is Dion Stahl in the other factory Ferrari. And back from him running in 11th is Benny Ricchetti, trying to make up for the mishap that he had a couple laps ago. Higgins out, Crocodile out. And it looks like Karakayam is into the pits. That's going to hand over the lead to Francis McGinn. Karakayam is going to come out. Oh, it's going to be close. He's going to come out 4th, but he's got Sam right behind him in the Haas. Sam obviously on warmer tires, see if he can make up that spot. Oh, and a lockup by Karakayam going into that corner. He's pushing the envelope. Oh, and Sam's pushing. Oh, and he loses the back end, cuts through the grass, and that's going to abort that attempt to pass. All the time he made up, he just lost. Karakayam is going to pull away after that. Another big lockup by Karakayam. And he's going to try and close the gap now to Fasconi in the Williams. And in closing he is. Oh, when he's there. Makes a run down to the inside, and Fasconi's got nothing for him. Race control, 3-second penalty for Sander. Multiple warnings for corner cutting. Karakayam has now worked his way into 3rd. And Karakayam, he's only 2.5 seconds behind VY Gaming in the Haas Ferrari. Ooh, 3-second time penalty for Killian Brady, cutting corners. Brady's worked his way up to 6th after starting 3rd, but having a mishap going into turn 1 on the first lap. Another lock up there from Karakayam. And this time it's Dion Stahl with a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Race control, 3-time penalty for Sandro Doulis. A lot of guys cutting corners here trying to make up some time. Karakayam now has the gap down to almost 1 second. He's almost within DRS range. 1.1. Now when he is fast going through that complex, he just made up a little bit of time, and it's now down to 0.8 of a second. Oh, and a slide coming out of that corner. Karakayam is pushing the envelope with these softs. And he is going to be in DRS range heading down into turn 1. I don't think VY is going to have anything for him. Slots open. Going to look to the inside. He's not close enough. Oh, it's tight. Can he get the run down into turn 3? The treacherous turn 3. VY takes the more defensive line. He's going to make Karakayam go around the outside. Oh, can he hang on to it? They slide next to each other. VY's not done. He wants to try the crossover, but Karakayam's got the lead. And it's going to take over the 2nd position. It looks like we've had an off in Sector 1, maybe. Possibly Fasconi. And he is off. Looks like that's the turn 3. He's had a big off. And he is slow. Looks like he might have some possible wing damage, maybe some suspension damage. So back out front is Francis McGinn in the factory Honda. He's got a comfortable 11.5 second lead, but Kamikaze is cutting that lead down in chunks, sector to sector. It won't be long until Kamikaze makes that up. You can see here, he is on a tear since he's come out of the pits. Since he's had that off and had to pit for soft tires. VY Gaming, who's had a solid run, couldn't hold off Kamikaze. But still a solid run, 3rd place for the Haas Ferrari. In the other Haas, we have Sam bringing up 4th position. He's having a good solid run today as well. We take a look back at Killian Brady, who last time I checked ran the fastest lap. Started 3rd, ran into some issues on lap 1. He's on the ultra softs, and he's trying to make up some time, but he is 9 seconds behind Sam. If you go back from that, we've got Sandro in the factory Ferrari. This is one of his better tracks. He's won here the past 2 years. Started on the front row, had an off going into turn 1. He's made up a lot of time though. He's running 6th. And he's about 4.8 seconds behind Killian Brady. Back from him, we have Croft in the Scuderia Toro Rosso. Good effort today so far, running 7th. Sander in the Williams. He got a time penalty earlier on that'll be tacked on to the end of his race. And it looks like Francis McGinn has gone into the pits. That is going to hand the lead over to, at least I'm assuming that's what he did. Oh. Not sure if Francis went into the pits or had an off. He's now gone from 1st to 4th. Looks like he may have gone into the pits and switched over to the soft tires. Oh, and Kamikaze has left the session. That's interesting. Unless we've had a connection problem, that's going to hand the lead basically over to VY Gaming. Interesting turn of events, because Kamikaze was having a heck of a race. And we got the message across the bottom, says he's left the session. Car's gone ghost. Oh, that will effectively hand the lead over to VY Gaming in the Haas Ferrari, and I'm not even sure he knows that yet. He was 5 seconds behind Kamikaze. Not sure how this works out. Does that car just keep going on autopilot? And there's another 3-second time penalty for Dion Stahl. And here it is, folks. Effectively, the lead going to be given to VY Gaming in the Haas Ferrari. But behind him is Francis McGinn in the McLaren Honda, and he's closed the gap down to VY Gaming. And all 3 of these cars are basically going to gain a position here in the next lap. Next couple of corners. There goes VY, there's Francis McGinn, and SRL Sam up in the other Haas Ferrari. He's going to be bringing up 3rd. So if we take Kamikaze out of the equation at this point, everybody will gain a position. We'll take a look back at your championship points leader, Killian Brady, in the McLaren Honda. Trying to make up for lost time. He will essentially be fourth at this point, and it looks like Sam's just headed into the pits. That's going to hand fourth position effectively over to Killian Brady, who will essentially be third as a result of Kamikaze disconnecting from the session. Take a look back at Sandro in fifth. And Francis McGinn immediately gets a 3-second time penalty for cutting corners. Sandro's about 3 seconds behind Killian Brady. Take a look at Brady here. And Brady, you see, is coming up on the ghost car of Kamikaze, effectively giving him the third position, the final spot on the podium. For what it's worth, though, Brady running very solid lap times has been able to make up a lot of ground from his earlier mishap, and effectively 7.5 seconds behind VY Gaming, as we see another 3-second time penalty for Sandro and the Williams. So there is a possibility that Killian Brady is not completely out of this for contention, at least for second place. I'm sure he can make up the time. Got a lot of laps left. We're only about halfway through the course of this race, working lap 14 of 29. You see Sandro now working his way around the ghost car of Kamikaze. And Sandro's actually closed the gap down to Killian Brady a little bit. Down to 2 seconds. A little bit of a tire drop there on the left side as he puts the tires in the grass. And you see Sandro, he looks like he's pushing the car a little bit to try and make up some of that time. Ooh, tires off into the grass again. But he's got his time down to a 1.7 behind Brady. Oh, and Killian's going to get a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. It looks like he definitely gained 0.3 from whatever he did. Sandro a little wide coming out of that corner. Oh, and it looks like Brady is heading into the pits. And that will effectively give third to Sandro. Finally worked his way up into a podium position. It looks like Kamikaze has rejoined the session. No idea. And now it says Alexito Benerichetti has left the session. So an eventful race here. Killian Brady's going to drop out to 7th. You see the ghost car of Kamikaze effectively has rejoined the session, but I believe the car will stay ghost. It looks like we have a caution in Sector 3. So let's get you back to the top of the running order as we take a look at Francis McGinn in the factory McLaren Honda. Another yellow flag out in Sector 3. McGinn's got a almost 6-second lead over VY Gaming in the Haas Ferrari. Having a good outing today. Behind him, Sandro's managed to work his way back up to third after starting second and going off in turn 1. Croft picks up a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Back from Sandro is going to be Kamikaze, who I am trying to determine whether or not is actually back in full effect. His car no longer looks to be a ghost car, so Kamikaze could be back in the hunt for this after dropping from second place down to fourth. Benarichetti has rejoined the group. He was running ninth. We'll keep an eye on Kamikaze. We'll take a look back at Sam in the Haas Ferrari. He's about 2.5 seconds behind Kamikaze. Killian Brady came out of the pits a lap ago, worked his way back up to 6th. Croft in the Scuderia Toro Rosso, running in 7th. He's about 3 seconds behind Brady. Sander in the Williams Mercedes. He's gotten himself a few time penalties today, unfortunately. Another yellow flag in Sector 3. Benarichetti and the other factory Red Bull. Perhaps it's a Red Bull connection thing today. Both Red Bulls have disconnected and reconnected. Doesn't look like Benarichetti's actually back in the race yet. Fasconi in the other Williams, down at a 10th. Dion Stahl struggling in this race, unfortunately. 4.5 seconds behind Fasconi, picking up 11th. Colin Higgins and Crocodile are both out. So we're going to take a look back here. Uh-oh. Sam has retired from the session. And it looks like we've got a big off here. It looks like this might be Sector 1, Turn 3 section. And it looks like he is broken and he smashed the left side of that car. And Sam is done for the day. Not sure what happened there, but he is out of this race. That is going to move a couple of guys up. Big time off for Sam. Unfortunately, he was having such a good run. He was running 4th. Him and Haas, they were really looking to pick up some points this race. Not going to be not a good way to get it done. His teammate VY Gaming still running 2nd. That's a good solid run for him if he can keep it together. But another disappointing outing for Sam and his Haas Ferrari. VY is heading into the pits. This is going to drop him back mid-pack to about 5th or 6th place. Sandro goes by. Kamikaze will be the next one. And we've got another yellow flag in Sector 3. And we're going to see where KB comes out in reference to VY, and KB is going to pick up another spot. And it looks like Sander has had an off. He's got a broken left front suspension, and he's facing the wrong way. So another DNF for Sander. And we've got guys dropping like flies right now, folks. Whoa! So we're looking at Francis McGinn. He is still your current leader. 13 seconds out front of Sandro in the factory Ferrari. Sandro's had a eventful race, but he's fought his way back to 2nd brilliantly. However, sneaking back into the picture is Kamikaze. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right, so forgive me. A little bit of a lock up there. Kamikaze, who was running 2nd, disconnected from the session, effectively dropped back to 4th, rejoined the session, and is now back in full control, and he's cut the gap down to Sandro to 2.5 seconds. And it doesn't look like at the pace that he's going, it's not going to be long before he catches up to him. Another big lock up there as he's running on the soft tires. But he's cut that gap down. He took out another 4/10 in that pass sector. And he can see Sandro. He can see him now. He's pushing that car. You can see it dropping. The gap's down to 1.7. Sandro, little loose coming out of that last corner. Almost looks like he brushed the wall a little bit. Sandro trying to push it. Oh, and he gets very close to the wall that time. He can feel Kamikaze at this point. Gap is down to 0.8 of a second. He's going to be in the DRS zone when they hit the front stretch. He's there, folks. Half a second behind. Sandro really loose coming out of some of these corners. And he gets a 3-second time penalty. He's going to head into the pits. That's effectively going to give second place to Kamikaze. And he is on a tear, who is now 14.5 seconds behind Francis McGinn. Killian Brady's going to go by. He's going to pick up third as Sandro headed into the pits. Now Brady's about 9 seconds behind Kamikaze, and these two really been pushing hard all day to try and make up for some lost time due to a couple of different circumstances. We'll take a look back at Ben Ricchetti, whose car is still ghost, even though he has rejoined, it says. This is semi-good news for Dion Stahl, who, if Ben Ricchetti doesn't fully join back, Stahl will effectively pick up 8th position. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of DNFs today. Sander and his Williams obviously made contact with the wall, broke the left front suspension, ended up facing the wrong way. SRL Sam broke the left front, looks like the turn 3 complex heading down to Sports Center. Colin Higgins and Crocodile look like they got together. Broken suspension on Crocodile's car. Higgins ended up on his side. So, quite the eventful race. So we take a look back up front. And Francis McGinn now is coming up on the what's going to be the lap car of Ben Ricchetti. And 3-second time penalty for Croft. McGinn running the sauce. We're working lap 21 of 29. Race is starting to wind down. And interestingly enough, if we take a look at the timesheets, Kamikaze 2 laps ago was 14.5 seconds behind. He's managed to pick up 2 seconds on Francis McGinn. Given the amount of time he's behind and the amount of laps that's left, it's safe to say there could be a battle for the win as this race winds down. We'll keep an eye on that gap. You go one more back, you pick up the championship points leader, Killian Brady, who, oh, that's a corner cut if I've ever seen one. He'll probably pick up a 3-second time penalty for that one, if he didn't pick up another warning already. Killian Brady, though, he's batting 3 for 3 this year. He's been in 3 races. He's won all 3. He won the season opener in Silverstone. He won the USGP, managed to miss round 3, and then came back in round 4, won China. He started third today, managed to get caught up in a melee in turn 1 and fell back into the pack, fought his way back up to third place through a series of events. You take one look back from Killian Brady, you pick up VY Gaming in the second Haas. Unfortunately, Sam wrecked his early in the race. And fastest lap now goes to Sandro in the factory Ferrari, who's running 5th, 1:24.8. And that being said, Sandro's actually closing the gap a little bit to his Haas Ferrari of VY Gaming. And 3-second time penalty for Dion Stahl, and we've got a yellow flag in sector 1. So Sandro with the fastest lap. take a look at Croft in the Scuderia Toro Rosso. He's run a fairly solid race, stayed out of trouble most of the day. Hasn't exactly been the smoothest race, but running a solid 6th position. Fasconi is in the pits in his Sauber, looks like, I'm sorry, with his Williams. He's just leaving. He's out on the Ultra Softs now. And 3-second time penalty for VY Gaming. Sandro has actually closed the gap down now to VY to 1.5 seconds. He takes that corner very wide. See if Sandro can close the gap a little bit heading down into the turn 3 complex. You see the guys coming up on the ghost car of Benner Ricchetti, who unfortunately got disconnected from the session. And Francis McGinn's going to pick up a 3-second time penalty, which is going to be interesting to see how that's going to affect the overall time at the end of the race, because Katakayam's got the lead cut down to 10 seconds. And you see now Sandro is all over the back of VY Gaming, and this is the battle for 4th. VY taking a little bit more of a defensive line, going to try and make Sandro go around the outside. Sandro, though, keeping the pressure on. He's right on the gearbox as they head down this long, fast section. Sandro, not close enough. Be patient, lad. You can get him on the front stretch. You're in DRS range. Last series of corners before they'll head back out on the front stretch. Sandro being DRS range, he should be able to make the pass fairly easily at that point. He's right on the gearbox. Look at that, right on the back of VY Gaming as they head out onto the front stretch. Slots open. Sandro's got the inside line. He's going to make easy work of VY Gaming heading down into turn 1. Oh, but he goes wide. Cuts through the corner. VY's going to take the outside and take 4th position back. Sandro had it and then he lost it. Back onto the DRS. Oh, he's got a little bit of a push going through that corner. He's still got some dirt on his tires, I'm sure. And these two are battling it hard for the 4th position. Oh, and he's down on the inside, cutting it close. He's right on the gearbox, and it's going to be tight. Oh, he's through the grass. Tries to make the pass in the grass, couldn't make it work. Be interesting to think what the stewards think about that, whether or not they'll give him a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting, and he's lost a lot of time. Take a breather, Sandro, reset. You can catch him. No reason to get crazy. Oh, that's going to be close to corner cutting. The gap now down to 9/10 of a second. Sandro pulling back in. He's going to be in DRS range. Heading out on to the turn 1 front stretch. Last set of corners, and he's almost all over the back of the gearbox again of VY Gaming. Slots open. Can he get a better run? Oh, he's not close enough. He goes in deep. Oh, the rotors are glowing red hot on that Ferrari. Fasconi picks up a time penalty for corner cutting. That is not of our concern right now. We're watching this battle for 5th. And just to give you an update on Katakayam and Francis McGinn, Katakayam's got the lead cut down now to 4.1 seconds to Francis McGinn. The laps are winding down, lap 25 of 29, and Katakayam is moving in on McGinn as we watch this battle for 4th. Again, Sandro can't find a way around VY Gaming. VY is making that car very wide and hard to get around. Sandro wants this position bad. And again, he's all over the back of the gearbox. There's a yellow flag in Sector 3. Oh, that's a corner cut if I've ever seen one by VY Gaming. These two are playing nice. They're cutting corners, making their cars wide, trying to make it work. Last section of corners. Now right along with Sandro, he's going to be down the front stretch. He's going to have the slot open. Can he make this pass on VY Gaming heading in the one? Doesn't look like he's close enough. Can he make the run down into turn 3? Oh, VY takes the defensive line, makes Sandro go the long way around. Meanwhile, the battle up front. Karakayam's got the lead down to 2.7. Sandro tries to work the outside. Oh, and he's going to make the pass. And VY lost grip, almost spins the car. So Sandro, after all that, finally picks up the 4th position, and he's going to start to pull away. We're going to take a look at Killian Brady as he is closing the gap. I'm sorry, not Killian Brady. Karakayam, who's closing the gap to the lead car. Francis McGinn. Brady is currently running comfortably in 3rd position, 10 seconds behind Karakayam, and 13 seconds in front of Sandro. 27 of 29, the battle for the lead is on. Karakayam is cutting into this, and it is now down to 1.5. He is there, and there's a 3-second time penalty for Sandro. Not sure if that'll have any effect on the outcome of his 4th position that he fought so hard for. Big lock up there heading into that corner, and it is now down to 0.8 of a second, folks. The battle for the lead is on with 2 laps to go. Karakayam smooth coming out of that last corner. Killian Brady picks up a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Going to be a lot of penalties assessed at the end of this race. Could affect the running order. But right now we're watching these two, Francis McGinn in the McLaren Honda, Karakayam in the factory Red Bull. Karakayam is there. What an eventful race for this guy. Got disconnected, rejoined. Lost positions, lost time. He's managed to make it all back up. McGinn makes him work the outside line. Oh, but he's there. He's going to have a run going down to the turn 3 complex. Look at this. On the outside, McGinn's got the defensive line trying to hold him off. Oh, and he's not going to be able to... Oh, he does the crossover move. Oh, but he power slides it a little bit. He's still on the outside. And he's going to take the lead for now. Karakayam out in front. McGinn's not done, though. McGinn trying to fight back. All over the back of the gearbox. Dion Stahl picks up another 3-second time penalty. The battle for the lead's not over yet. McGinn trying to find a way around Karakayam. And these two are battling it hard. Oh, McGinn picks up a 3-second time penalty. Oh, it looks like on that last corner he just cut. Effectively, oh, and a big dive bomb move. Oh, and they touch. McGinn dive bombs Karakayam going into that corner. Oh, and he's looks like he might have given the position back. Probably not in the most polite way. And these two are going back and forth now. McGinn's not done. He's going to be in the DRS zone. Either he was giving the position back or he was doing a ploy to pick up the DRS. But it looks like Karakayam was behind McGinn during the activation zone. McGinn trying to close the gap. 0.3 of a second separate these two. Oh, and a car goes around. Looks like that's one of the Toro Rossos. Last lap battle here. Big lockup from Karakayam. And in the midst of all this, I just want to throw this out here. In the midst of all that's been going on between these two, Killian Brady has caught up to these two. He's 3.5 seconds behind. So a mishap between these two can easily hand over the lead to Brady. McGinn's not done. Looks like they both got that one a little tight. Oh! And McGinn on the inside gets by Karakayam. Croft with another 3-second time penalty, and now McGinn has your lead heading in the last series of corners. Kamikaze on the outside, big lockup, look at that left front lockup. Oh, and he's on the inside, they touch, they bang wheels, and it looks like it's going to be Kamikaze for the win. Oh, he gave it back to Francis McGinn. And I don't know if that's a product of the disconnect from earlier, but it says Francis McGinn is your winner. Be interesting to see how this finishing lineup turns out with all the time penalties. And now it says Kamikaze is your winner. So we'll take a look at your finishing order after the time penalties are assessed. Unbelievable battle for the lead there at the end, and it looks like Kamikaze is going to take this top step. Got Francis McGinn coming in second. Killian Brady, while he didn't go 4 for 4 on winning, he has gone 4 for 4 with podium finishes now, and will easily retain his championship points lead. What an exciting battle down to the last set of corners by Kamikaze, Francis McGinn, and the closing in of Killian Brady. Sandro picks up 4th, VY Gaming in the Haas 5th. Fasconi had an eventful race in his Williams, picks up 6th. Croft 7th in the Toro Rosso. Somehow Daniel Ricciardo got in here. Dion Stahl, I'm assuming that Ben Ricchetti is going to be 8th. Dion Stahl picking up 9th. And then we had the Sander drop out in 10th. Sam in the Haas in 11th. And Higgins and Crocodile 12th and 3rd. So we want to thank you guys for joining us. Tune in next time as we head to Spain, Catalonia. And be sure to check us out on YouTube, online at SRL League. And we'll catch you at the next race.